Hello and welcome to another edition of the Fatu Network News Review today, 26 September 2018. My name is Omar Wali. President Adama Barrow addressed the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly. We'll be bringing that one, and we'll also be bringing pictures as the president was at the United Nations with the First Lady. There were pictures on Facebook. People are asking what was he doing there. But we got a collection of other African heads of state with their First Ladies at the United Nations. But before all that, I will start with the Standard. NAM's clash over 3 years transition debate. The Standard newspaper is reporting that the third ordinary session of the National Assembly in this year's legislative calendar ended with a heated debate over many aspects. An interesting exchange between Halifa Sallah of Serekunda and Sekuba Jaju of Busumbala centered on how much talk about debate on whether it is possible for President Barrow to quit after 3 years, widely believed to be a timeline agreed among the coalition leaders. Honorable Sallah said there is a need to assess the way forward, explaining that if it is a transitional government of 3 years, then it can be understood. And President Barrow calls for preventive diplomacy at the United Nations, and he was speaking at the African Union and the United Nations and other regional organizations to promote and invest in preventive diplomacy and participate actively in mediation efforts and conflict resolution. You may remember that a preventive diplomacy was used in the Gambia when Jammeh lost election and he refused to go. UN, African Union, ECOWAS, and other international power brokers intervened in the Gambia and the problem was solved. Bala Jasseh claims client is a victim of hatred. That is Malik Mbai, the counsel for Malik Bala Jasseh, on telecom expert and proprietor of Mobile Cell Company, yesterday told the commission that his client was a victim of hate and narration. Lawyer Mbai began his address by referring to commission to summon to notice date 31st January 2018 and submitted that his client was not involved in the gateway management. Rather, he testified in relation of Mobile Cell Company. And Mahdi Jobate blasts government over lack of transparency. Mahdi is a human rights activist and a commentator, and in an interview with the Standard, Mahdi said that the lack of transparency by the government in handling the aspect of public affairs recently. He said that the government handling of the 54 vehicles donated to the National Assembly members, the First Ladies Foundation saga, and the recent contract awarded to Semlex are very disturbing developments, Mahdi told the Standard newspaper. Mr. Jobate said his personal view is that the government is far behind in terms of ensuring transparency, accountability, and he will not mind making 0% in that area. The Daily News, on the Daily News reporting that Barrow will stay for 5 years, the same like it was on the Standard. The National Assembly member for Busumbala constituency, Honorable Sekuba Jaju, has called on President Barrow to stay for 5 years in conformity with the constitutional stipulated mandate. There is debate whether Barrow should serve 3 or 5 years. When the coalition leaders met, they agreed on 3 years, but now the constitution, as experts said, will supersede any agreement. And Barrow pays tribute to Nelson Mandela, that was also at the United Nations General Assembly, and Ambassador Alsop, the United States ambassador to the Gambia, term has ended and met President Barrow recently. On Foraya newspaper, teachers continue to stay away from work. That is Foraya reporting that teachers who are part of the newly formed pressure group Teachers for Change have stayed away from work since schools reopened on 17th of September 2018, uniting with their counterparts in mission schools and going by the name Network of Mission Teachers. The teachers said they are engaged on an indefinite sit-down strike effective 24th September 2018. They had a meeting over the weekend at Abuko, and they laid down some conditions which they said if government did not fulfill, they will not go back to school. And VP urges commitment to security reform in the country. That is the Vice President Usainu Dabo, and Minister of Women's Affairs has on Tuesday urged his government to continue the commitment in security sector reform. This remark was said at the opening of the two-day security sector reform as for the heads of institutions and senior public servants at Kairaba Beach Hotel. And GPU also calls for police investigation on journalist assault. Journalist Babukar Manga was assaulted while covering the teachers' meeting at Abuko Upper Basic School. The Gambia Press Union has called on the Gambia Police Force to investigate the matter. VP warns Supreme Islamic Council against, VP warns Supreme Islamic Council against abusive preaching. That is the Vice President and Minister for Women's Affairs has warned members of the Supreme Islamic Council against the use of abusive language, especially preaching quoted with castigation of their religious belief and personalities in any forms. The Gambian Vice President Ousainou Darboe made this observation while presiding over the official opening ceremony of the Supreme Islamic Council's discussion on the theme how to come to terms when it comes to sighting of the moon for the months of Ramadan and Eid al-Adha prayer in the country. There has also been a conflict of different dates where people observe feast and also fast in the same day when it comes to Ramadan. Dudu Kasajata frowns at political violence. That is a renowned politician, activist, has also called on people of the country to stop all forms of political violence in the Gambia and work towards achieving sustainable development objectives of the country in line with the spirit of the newly found democratic dispensation. Dudu Kasajata told the Voice newspaper. And on the Point newspaper, the Stadium Investigative Panel urges public to testify, and that is the investigative panel probing the overcrowding of the Independence Stadium has called on the general public, especially those with relevant information on the matter, to come and testify before the committee on Saturday 29 September 2018 at Football House in Kanifing. The Executive Committee of the Gambia Football Federation has set up the said committee in line with an Article 59 of the GFF Constitution to identify the root cause of the stadium overcrowding during the football match between the Scorpions and the Algeria on September 8, 2018. Vice President reaffirms government commitment to security reforms, and Barrow also calls for preventive diplomacy at the United Nations. That's all we have for you on the papers. And as you may know, Gambians have been posting on social media about the picture of the President Adama Barrow and the First Lady Fatouba Barrow at the United Nations General Assembly, and it has generated a debate on the social media. People asking what was she doing there. So we decided to collect few pictures taken at the United Nations, and I tried to talk to an expert whether she should be there, because she is not the only First Lady there with her husband. The Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo also was there with the First Lady of Ghana. You have seen the First Lady of Zimbabwe as well, Emmerson Mnangagwa, also there with the First Lady. And as you can see, the President of Namibia also was there with the President, with the First Lady at the United Nations. And after that, I will now also move on with the United Nations. As you may know, this President Barrow has addressed the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly, and in his speech he dilated on national election process in the Gambia, the institutional and constitutional reforms to put Gambia at the solid path on human rights and democracy. We will take a listen to the clip of President's address at the United Nations.
I'm going to replace my AfriCell 3G SIM card.
Why use a 3G SIM card when you have a 4G phone? Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real AfriCell 4G SIM and receive 1 GB of internet data for free.
Really?
Yes, get 1 GB for free just by replacing your SIM card at any AfriCell outlet.
With no loss of contact, the cost of bundle from the 3G SIM card is the same for the 4G SIM.
And guess what? With the 4G SIM card, you can also connect to the 3G network as well.
This is so cool.
Where AfriCell goes, no one has the speed to follow.
Madam President, with reference to the Gambia, and following a difficult political impasse in December 2016, Gambians have managed, with the support of our partners, to restore democracy and the rule of law in our country. We have completed our national electoral process in full after successfully conducting both legislative and local government elections. We are also resolutely pursuing institutional and constitutional reforms. Such reforms have commenced with the hope of putting the Gambia on a solid path to becoming a shining champion of democracy and human rights in the world. Madam President, when Gambians voted for change in 2016, they actually yearned to be in charge of their destiny. They wanted significant, not cosmetic improvements in their lives. It is for this reason that my government is now implementing a comprehensive national development plan 2018-2021. The plan seeks to transform the Gambia through key priorities such as infrastructural development, agricultural transformation, macroeconomic stability, job creation, and employment. The plan also seeks to consolidate our democratic gains through good governance, rule of law, and respect for human rights and people's rights. In all, our goal is to deliver a fully transformed Gambia that has a future, a country that is energy secured, food self-sufficient, and an investment-friendly destination. We have also begun to exploit and harness the benefits of information communication technology as a catalyst for modernization and youth empowerment. Madam President, our National Development Plan was presented to a successful donors conference in Brussels, where significant pledges were made to meet our funding targets. I must express yet again profound thanks to our bilateral and multilateral partners, including the United Nations, the European Union, World Bank, and many others for their interest and support. We are indeed truly grateful as we look forward to their continued collaboration and support to attain our development objectives.
TAF Africa Global is pleased to launch Dalaba Housing Estate. Dalaba Housing Estate is our newest estate located on the Sukuta-Jabang Road. You can buy a finished 2 or 3 bedroom house or service plots accompanied with a free fence and gate. At Dalaba Housing Estate, you get to enjoy bituminized roads, gated and fenced properties, solar street lights, water reticulation, public amenities, 1,500 fruit trees aligned in streets, and many more. Make a 40% down payment today and spread the balance conveniently for 10 years with GTBank, EcoBank, and Trust Bank. Terms and conditions apply. Wait, this is the best part. We are giving a discount on outright payments. For more information and exceptional service, please call our office line on +220 4410 233. TAF Africa Global. Our experience is global.
Welcome back. That was President Barrow's address at the 73rd Ordinary Session of the United Nations General Assembly, where he talked about national electoral process and institutional and constitutional reforms to put Gambia on a proper footing on democracy and human rights. President Barrow also commended leaders of Ethiopia and Eritrea, Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki, for having a peace deal recently. And he also commended the leaders of Sudan, South Sudan, Salva Kiir and the former vice president on trying to restore peace in Sudan. He also called on the leaders of Libya and Central African Republic to come to terms and bring peace and stability in their respective countries. President Barrow also made mention of the Rohingya Muslims, and he also commended the Bangladesh country for accommodating the Rohingya Muslims. We will take a listen to that clip as well.
Replace your 3G SIM card today for the Real Africell 4G SIM and receive 1 gigabyte of internet data for free.
Really?
Yes, get 1 gigabyte for free just by replacing your SIM card at any Africell outlet.
With no loss of contact, the cost of bundle from the 3G SIM card is the same for the 4G SIM.
And guess what? With the 4G SIM card, you can also connect to the 3G network as well.
This is so cool.
Where Africell goes, no one has the speed to follow.
Madam President, as Africans, we must assume leadership for maintaining peace and security on our continent. In this respect, I commend the leaders of Ethiopia and Eritrea for the extraordinary efforts made to bring lasting peace to the Horn of Africa. They have set an example for the rest of the continent to emulate. In a similar vein, I applaud the leaders of South Sudan for agreeing to restore peace and work towards developing their country. We call on the leaders of Libya and Central African Republic to intensify their efforts through political dialogue for national reconciliation and peace. Madam President, my government reaffirms its strong support for the two-state solution to establish peace between the Palestinians and their neighbors. Related to this, we pronounce our unconditional recognition of the One China policy. Similarly, we recognize the support provided by the government and the people of Bangladesh to address the plight of the Rohingya Muslims. As the upcoming chair of the next OIC summit, the Gambia has undertaken through a resolution to champion an accountability mechanism that would ensure that perpetrators of the terrible crimes against the Rohingya Muslims are brought to book.
TAF Africa Global is pleased to launch Dalaba Housing Estate. Dalaba Housing Estate is our newest estate located on the Sukuta Jabang Road. You can buy a finished 2 or 3 bedroom house or service plots accompanied with a free fence and gate. At Dalaba Housing Estate, you get to enjoy bituminized roads, gated and fenced properties, solar street lights, water reticulation, public amenities, 1,500 fruit trees aligned in streets and many more. Make a 40% down payment today and spread the balance conveniently for 10 years with GTBank, EcoBank and Trust Bank. Terms and conditions apply. Wait, this is the best part. We are giving a discount on outright payments. For more information and exceptional service, please call our office line on +220 4410 233. TAF Africa Global. Our experience is global.
President Barrow there at the United Nations General Assembly there, where he made a mention of issues like commending the leaders of Libya or calling on the leaders of Libya and Central African Republic to bring peace in their respective countries, as well as commend the leaders of Ethiopia and Eritrea, the neighbors, for bringing peace and stability in those two countries in the Horn of Africa. He also called on leaders of South Sudan to try and bring stability in the country. South Sudan has been the latest country in Africa which gained independence, but since then there has been instability in that country. On China policy, I also mentioned One China policy, that Gambia will be with China, and has also said that the Gambia will always be with two-state solution when it comes to Israel and Palestine. And he also said on the upcoming OIC summit in the Gambia, said Gambia will adopt an accountability so that the perpetrators of human rights violations would be brought to justice, especially the Rohingya Muslims who have been chased away in Burma, and they have been living or providing sanctuary by the Bangladeshi government since then. Well, that's all we have for President at the United Nations General Assembly. We are also trying to call somebody and see, we'll try the person as soon as we get him. I will we'll be discussing about the what is happening at the, well, before letting the cat out of the bag, I will try to get the person first. From there, we'll look at the preamble. And hello? 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 Well, we keep trying on that person. If he's not available on Skype, I will see if I can get him on phone here. But before that, like I said, President Barrow has addressed the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly, where he made a mention of the security reforms and institutional reforms in the Gambia and two-state solution between Palestine and Israel. I think we have the person on the line now. Hello?
Yeah, hello, Omar.
Yes, Shehu Seduli, welcome.
Yeah. Am I on?
I can see your face as.
Okay, can you see me now?
Well, let me see. The technician is working on it. Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, your face is on now.
Okay.
Now, we know you and several other people are the anchors of UDP Generation Talk Show, if I'm right.
Right,
but
right.
Recently we received reports that it has not been functioning well. Most of you resigned. Can you tell me the circumstances of you resigning from the UDP Generation Talk Show?
Well, Omar, again, good afternoon to your viewers, and thanks for having me. Well, yes, I think it's no secret that I was an anchor on the UDP Generation Talk Show for a while. But moving on, we have now created, myself and my colleagues have now created a platform called UDP Online Banter Bar that we are part of right now. So I that's what I can comment on. I cannot comment on the other aspects that you've asked because we just want to focus on the UDP Online Banter Bar for now. That's what my focus is on right now. But if you want to ask questions about that, but the other aspects of what happened, there was nothing significantly that happened as far as I know. But you know, in politics, things can change. In life, things can change. And when the dynamics change, you just have to adjust to the new dynamics and move on.
But one thing that is clear, that you and other people have resigned from the Generation Talk Show and you have set up your new one. That is the UDP Online Banter Bar, right?
Yes, that's correct. In fact, we made that public. I think on our page, that's public, and our introductory statement is very clear. It's crystal clear that we are here to empower the United Democratic Party in terms of its media work. That's our primary goal. But also we'll be participating in national issues, national discourse, supporting the government of President Barrow, where we think is necessary. We are supporters of the government. So the UDP Online Banter Bar will be very, very similar to the modus operandi of what we were doing. But it's just that the name has changed and the people behind it, particularly myself, Ndai Idi Toure, Mariama Samate, Sirif Sise, Ibrahima Tunko Marena, Yabinta Mangs. We have other participants like Ibu Jalo, Suleiman Jeng, and the people who will be participating on our programs. Mamadou Bikrubali will be in our dialogue with the government show, and Karamba Toure, and also Boubacar Siddiq. These are participants. So it's basically live as normal. It's just that this is on a different platform, Omar Wale.
Certainly, can you tell me with straight face, is there a power struggle as to who to control the mediums or platforms where UDP people express their views or put their party agenda forward?
How do you mean power struggle? How do you mean there's
yeah, because
we
have seen different platforms represented talking about UDP agenda. And of recent, you and others people resign from one and you set up another platform.
No. Omar, you would understand that UDP is a very big political party, and where the party is growing in size, naturally you will have people's passion to support their party will increase. Like we have a lot of the number of people in the UDP is increasing daily. So there is nothing wrong in UDP having several media outlets. And in fact, if anything, that's going to enhance the party. I do understand the argument some people put forward. It's better to have one entity in place on the unified platform. But as long as this platform will work in tandem and support the cause of the United Democratic Party, I personally don't see any problem with that. You know, you could have a political party having different media outlets. That happens all over the world. There's nothing like a single platform related to a party. You have, in the United Kingdom here, you could have a Labour Party, could have a media outlet in another part of the country, another part of the country they have media outlets. So once the party is growing in strength and size, we could have even 3 or 4 media outlets, and that's normal. And people ask questions about what may be happening behind the scenes. This, you see, UDP is an entity like any other party. Like wherever you go, even at institutions, you could have people's ways of seeing things could differ. But I think the number one goal here is most UDP supporters want to see UDP grow. I think we have that shared goal. And I think that's what I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on other things, Omar.
Okay, so what will Gambians expect? Is it only going to be putting UDP agenda on the platform, or you're going to discuss about it?
Yes, I've said that the fundamental goal, most of the people behind this platform are UDP supported.
Right. I think we lost Sedi Lee there on the line, and he's talking about we received reports that Sehu Sedi Lee and several other members like Ndeye Toure and Mariama Samate, like he said, resigned from the UDP Generation Talk Show. It's an online platform where they put their party UDP agenda forward. But like he said, him and other members will also continue with what they have been doing on the UDP online Bantaba. That is Sehu Sedi Lee there. Thank you so much for your time. We had an interruption with that Skype there. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you today. And from me, Omar Wali, and my crew, I thank you all for your time. Till tomorrow.